Erin Corwin was hoping her walk in the desert with Chris Lee would end up in a walk down the aisle. What she never realized, he was actually walking her to her grave. But just where in the vast desert could that grave be? Investigators combing the search area in Joshua Tree National Park are perplexed.
We know that she is out there. It's just a matter of us trying to figure out exactly where.
And when detectives brought Lee into the station, he certainly wasn't helping in the frantic search for his friend.
I didn't see her on Saturday. We also know that you were one of the last people to see her alive. There's something happened out there. We know that something happened out there. You know that something happened out there. So I want to believe that you're not a cold-blooded killer. That you didn't plan this. You didn't plan her murder. And you were going to go out there and you were just going to kill her. Just be a cold-blooded killer, kill her, get rid of her, and then go on with your life. Is that what happened?
No.
But without a body, the mountain of circumstantial evidence investigators had against Lee wasn't enough to file a murder charge until they talked to one of his friends.
He had actually gone with a friend of his, a civilian friend, like the week before, and they took pictures. Somehow the detectives found out about the pictures on this friend's cell phone.
There were pictures of Lee at a mine shaft. It proved to be a virtual gold mine of evidence for investigators. For several weeks, searchers looked through every single mine shaft in this vast desert area like this one, not knowing the condition of them. Some you could walk into, others you had to rappel to look for Erin Corwin's body. Detectives showed the photos to mine expert Doug Billings.
So I didn't have to look at a map. I knew exactly where I was anytime in any of the mines there, so I was able to help direct the rescue team.
Doug and his crew started at 3 a.m. before the hot summer sun turned the desert into a furnace. The old mine is fragile and dangerous. The wood frames rotting away from termites. They carefully rappelled down the shaft. And at the bottom, in the darkness below the earth, a body. The news was shocking.
The search concluded with the discovery of Erin Corwin's body in a 140-foot mine shaft.
Erin's grave, 140 feet under. Her body so badly decomposed, they couldn't initially determine if she was pregnant.
It was a Saturday night going into Sunday, saying they found a female body, and they asked us not to tell anybody so that Chris wouldn't disappear. They assured me that they had their eye on Chris all the time.
A half hour after Erin's body was found, police arrest Chris Lee in Anchorage, Alaska. He moved there with his wife and daughter after being honorably discharged from the Marines. Lee fought extradition, but eventually gave in and returned to California to face a murder charge.
And are you entering a not guilty plea at this point? Not guilty plea.
Then later, at his murder trial, a shocking reversal. Lee says he did it. He admitted killing Erin, recounting chilling details about how and why. Lee says they were just outside the mine and got into an argument. He says he came up from behind and strangled her with a homemade garrote. His death grip tightening on her neck, choking the life out of her. After 5 minutes of what had to be torture, he released his grip and Erin fell to the ground. Lee says he dragged her body to the mine, pushed her in head first, threw a propane canister down the shaft, and then tossed in a lighted torch. And hours before, she texted a friend saying, "I think he's going to propose."
And you know, one of the things that haunts me to this day is wondering what she was thinking when he wrapped that garrote around her neck, when she was out there with somebody that she trusted, somebody that she thought loved her. You know, what was going through her mind?
Why did he kill her? I was controlled by the anger, he says. Unbelievably, he claims she molested his daughter, even though there is no evidence that ever happened.
It was a very offensive lie.
It was.
That outrageous claim greatly upset Erin's father, Bill, speaking exclusively to Crime Watch Daily.
What did you think when that came out of his mouth?
I thought it was crazy to put something like that, because it was not even something that anyone who knew Erin would even remotely think this was a possibility. I mean, anybody who knew her would look at that and go, really? It didn't work.
Yes, he confessed, but he couldn't even confess without bringing somebody else's character down with him.
The jury didn't buy Lee's flimsy excuse for killing Erin, convicting him of first-degree murder. Life without parole. Erin's mom says she's okay with Lee not receiving a death sentence.
Did you want that?
No.
Why?
With the death penalty, they're guaranteed multiple appeals. And I don't want to have to go through this any more than we've already gone through.
And now in the desert where Erin took her final breath, a memorial looking toward the entrance to the mine shaft where Lee callously tossed her body. Erin's murder made headlines across the country, so her family left a note for everyone visiting this memorial site, asking them to sign this registry. And you'll see inside there's comments from strangers to family and friends. And now a mother is left without her daughter. Laura finds comfort in this video.
Good boy.
Erin actually taught her cat how to obey commands.
Good boy.
When I want to hear her voice, I play that video.
Shake.
Is that the only video you have of her voice?
Yes.
Feels good to hear.
Feels good to hear.
Christopher Lee has filed an appeal hoping to overturn his conviction or at least reduce his sentence. Erin's family says they try not to think about him anymore. He's not important to them. Remembering their daughter and what she stood for is the only thing they now care about.